Hi, good morning. It's Kish night. I have not recorded in such a long time that I just knew that it was time for me to, get back out here and do another recording so I can get it up because I really want to get my YouTube page moving. I was, in my head, I'm always thinking, well, what is the best social media platform for writers, authors, and I know YouTube isn't necessarily the biggest one, but the thing is, I something about just creating video content on YouTube that I always love and I always like, and I always am looking at my favorite authors to see what kind of a YouTube page and presence they have. And it's always slightly disappointing when I can't find, the people that I admire reading so much and I enjoy reading their stuff and I can't find them on YouTube because I want to see what they look like, sound like, how they move, what kind of person are they, and then I don't see them. So I always feel like I wish that, authors really would get out there, and get up on their YouTubes a bit more. I like to see the YouTubers that are also writers and they're or becoming writers and they're bringing out a lot of content. And I sometimes wish that the authors that are more prolific would have more time to do YouTube videos and just kind of let me in and see what they're thinking of and what they're doing and all that stuff, yada yada yada. But so I always mean that I'm gonna do it because me myself, I mean, not like I'm a big prolific author. I have a few books here and there, but I always you know that, well, maybe I need to get more content on my YouTube page to begin with so that I'm not saying that, hey, I want to see more authors do their thing on YouTube so I can see them, hear them, blah, 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 whatever. And then I'm guilty of that because who knows, there may be one measly person that actually may want to hear me or see me say things on YouTube. So, that's why, I every so often I decide to, share my, random mumblings, musings, thoughts, and ideas on YouTube. So, which is what brings me back to doing my YouTube vlog today. Well, I there's just been so much going on for me this summer, and I really had a good summer writing wise. Very fruitful, very productive, very engaging, and I gotta say 2019 was good for me. Good for me in that I had two or three releases this year. I had Branded, which is the first book off of the Immortal Blood series. It's a young adult series. And I was able to take it to my very first book fair ever, which was the Atlanta Kickback 2019. Branded showed up there. I had it as paperback first. I released the paperback first. It was like a secret debut for the book fair, and then after I came back from the book fair, I released the ebook, the digital copy, and advertised, a little bit, not too much, not too hard. Advertised a little bit on social media, and was very happy to find that I've gotten a lot of interest in a lot of reads on online on KDP and a few purchases, mostly lending library from the lending library for Amazon lending library, but which is great because it still really translates into a lot of reads and a lot of some income for me, which is cool. But more importantly, more excitedly, a lot of reads. I love to know and see that people are reading what I wrote, and I always look and kind of check to see like how many pages they read, so I can know whether if I see that they only read 2 pages, like whoever it may be only read 2 pages, then I am thinking to myself, and if that seems to be a trend, well then there's something that didn't grab people in the intro or whatever of a book, right? So this is why you always check to see how many pages they read. But when I see that like the entire book consistently is just read like in a day, and I had that with this novel. This novel is, let me see how many pages it is. Let me see how many pages. This novel is cool. So this novel basically is 216, roughly about pages. And when I look and I see that like someone read like all basically that amount of pages, 200 and change pages in one day, I'm like blown away, because I know that means that they picked up and they read the book in one day. And I saw that all the way through for this book. Like every time I saw someone on I'm checking my stats on the Kindle lending library, I saw that the book is being read in one day. And I love that. And whoever is out there reading it, thank you. Thank you. That makes me feel really good. This book is my baby. It's been the idea, the concept of the series, actually Immortal Blood, has been with me for so long, beginning in 2013. And it's really scheduled as to be approximately a 5-book series. I've really already got part 2, 3, and 4 in the works. Gosh, it would have been so much more, but several months ago I dropped my hard drive and lost a huge amount of work, which sucks, because I had over the last year and the year before, I made a big push to finish up a lot of projects that I'd had stalled for so long, projects that I'd had planned, but just procrastinating on finishing them, and didn't have time to finish and whatnot. And I had decided that no matter what, by hook or by crook, I'm finishing out all my projects. I'm getting them out, getting them going, because they're good and I put a lot of time into them. And then I did that, and I got like the second part of the next book in Branded done, and the third one mostly done, or halfway through done, and then and a lot of other stuff are other works that I have on the hopper. And I dropped my hard drive, and just a little drop from maybe a foot above the ground, but the weight landed, it wasn't enough to basically destroy the hard drive. And I was able to do a small data recovery. Yes, I know I'm rambling, but I was able to do a small data recovery and get back some things. Not anything for Branded, not anything for the latest things that I'd done, because basically it seems like whatever were the things that really got lost on the hard drive, basically were a lot of the things that I had most recently done, which would be all those books that I was making a big push to finish on. So that was very disappointing. And I did tried the smaller recovery programs, ones you can buy and download. I got some data my own self, and I went to a smaller computer operation, and he said no, it really doesn't look good for the hard drive, just basically by identifying the clicking sounds that the hard drive itself was making. It doesn't really look good, but I could try a larger operation. And I know there's a larger data recovery company that I got a quote from, and basically they're telling me it's like $1,000 to see if they can get something, and oh gosh, that's so not a great deal for me, because I can't spend $1,000 to get back this data for just so many reasons. It's a lot of money. And also it was such a tragedy, because also, besides my writing, I lost a lot of my family reunion pictures, because I'm for my family, we used to host a big family reunion every year that incorporates the descendants of three sibling ancestors. And every year we grew it larger and larger and larger. And, I was the person in charge of the family tree and putting the pictures together and, and getting it all out there, getting everyone's pic out there, collecting everyone's picture. And all of that data was on my hard drive, and that's gone too. So, yeah. So, I lost a bunch of stuff, but, $1,000 is still a lot to pay to get back data if I get it back. And so I didn't do the data recovery. So basically I lost a lot of stuff, including my writing, including the finished drafts of the next couple of books for Branded. But I mean, I still have, like for Branded, I still have, or, the next books to Branded, I still have the works that are like, let's say, 1/2 of the way through and 3/4 of the way through. But, the stress is just that I'd finished them. But I had finished them, but, I have to start from scratch. I, can't, sure I won't remember some of the scenes because I remember finishing out like let's say the second part of it. I remember like some scenes just coming to me and being like, oh my God, that's brilliant. It wasn't anything I'd outlined or planned or anything. They just came to me. Oh gosh, yes, they should do this right now. That's the feeling. That's the emotion. And, I jotted it all down. I put it in and finished it, put it on the side and took a breather and decided I was going to come back to it. Because, sometimes when you're in that motion, you're just writing, and you finally get to a point where, bam, I'm done. You put it down so you can settle, so you can simmer down, and you put it down for weeks, and maybe you come back, and then you'll come back to it, and you read what you wrote, and you see if it really was worth something. So that's what I was doing, but then that's the draft that I lost, which is depressing and sucks. But anyway, that was Branded, and I've just got to get back in there and go at it again. And the next draft will be even better, and hopefully I won't drop any hard drives or anything, so I won't lose anything. So, but I'm gonna get it out there because it's really encouraging when you see that, your book garnered a lot of interest. That's really exciting when you see that. So I know I've got to get the next part of Branded out there because, I feel like Branded did really well. So that was one release that I had for 2019. I also had, I was also a part of an anthology earlier this year. The anthology, released in March, but it was only going to be up for like a few months. It was just to get, to garner some interest for a group of like eight or so authors, myself being one. And this was the Gothic Grimoire Anthology. And why I'm mentioning this anthology is because that anthology contained the story that was my second release of this year. The name of it being Born of Nether. And yeah, it was a very, very, very short work. It was a novella basically, because it's just the intro to the series. That's what a lot of us in the anthology did. We introed our series in the anthology, and after 3 months in June, which is when our time of basically showcasing the anthology was up, we each on our own as authors, we started to release our stories, our books. And I released mine. I did it just like Branded. It wasn't a secret release. I announced it before I went to the book festival. Born of Nether had such a beautiful cover. My cover artist, Vicky Adrian, did such a great job. I love her work on my cover, Born of Nether, and I advertised that it was going to be at the book fair, the book festival, July 20th. It was going to be there, and it was going to be available on sale. And then once I got back from the book fair, I did it just like I did for Branded. I released it digital format online, and once again, I got a lot of attention for it. I got a lot of reads, I got a lot of purchases and a lot of reads. And it feels so great. It really feels great to get, all the attention and all the reads that I got for Born of Nether again. And Born of Nether also, it's the first novella off of my Dark Inferno world. And it has another part that is coming pretty soon, because it was such a short book, I really knew that I needed to get the works out pretty quickly. So the next part that's coming after Born of Nether is Born of Divine. And I know what I did with Born of Nether was kind of tricky, because I really wanted to take it to the book fair, the book festival when I was going, and so I did not have the time to finish Born of Divine so that it could go along with Born of Nether. Born of Nether, however, as I said, it was a novella, and it really ends on a cliffhanger scene type, not exactly cliffhanger, but cliffhanger type of scene. And so it's very short because, of course, remember it came from this anthology, but I really wanted it to go to the book festival, and that's why I release the paperback book, introduced the paperback book there at the book fair, and then when I came back, I released it in digital form, so anyone wanted to go ahead and read it, they could. But I know that there's people who definitely would be waiting for the next part to come, because, as I said, it ended just on a cliffhanger scene. And I actually did get notification from one reader who said, great story, I need more. And I get that. I definitely get that, because it was it was a short release off of out of that anthology project, that I had with a few of the authors. But right now the buzz for those two stories, I feel, was really great, and I don't want to lose that interest or that slight buzz that I have. It's a really good feeling. Feels really good to have it. So I am going to really be working like mad to get the next part after after my book Branded, the next part of the Immortal Blood series out. And I'm going to work really hard to get the next book after Born of Nether of my Dark Inferno world. And I keep saying Dark Inferno world versus series because I have a few different book projects that take place in the same world, the Dark Inferno world, but they're not basically like consecutive series books. They deal with different characters that live within that world. So that's why I keep saying world. But yeah, so I really need to work to get these sequel books out, because I want to ride the buzz while it's going. I like the feeling of people reading my work and reading it, consuming it in a day's time. I love that. I love that feeling, and it's awesome. So yeah, so I just really wanted to touch bases here on YouTube, say something, because I love YouTube. I love vlogging and getting out there, or not always vlogging, as you can see sometimes. Sometimes I just like to talk, record, and then get the visuals together that's what I'm doing right now. Of course, I'm just recording this as I'm sitting at my computer doing other things. So yeah, thank you so much for listening to this, and hopefully I can get my butt or my rear in gear and get more YouTube content going, just like how I want to see other authors doing the same thing. Hopefully I can keep up my end as an author, as the things that I like to see authors doing, and I could do my YouTube stuff as well that I think all authors should be doing. So anyway, have a great day. This is Kish Knight. Talk to you later. Bye.